Live.
Woohoo!
You're now watching Star Wars Friends Podcast Razor Crest React Show. Starting in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
2. This is the way. You're watching the Star Wars Friends Podcast Razor Crest React Show, covering each episode of The Mandalorian Season 2. Don't forget to subscribe and join the conversation every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Now, here are your hosts, the Star Wars Friends.
Hey, what's happening, boys and girls of the internet world? It is Friday night. It is what? November 6th? My name is Christopher Meriden, and you are watching the Star Wars Friends Podcast, Razor Crest Reacts, where we are going to break down Chapter 10 of The Mandalorian. And joining me are my very, very beautiful Star Wars friends.
This is Josh, and I definitely did not need to see those spiders in live action.
I did.
Burn it with fire.
No. Speaking of fire, that episode was fire, but not because of this guy.
Ooh, very nice. This is Kyle, and why was Baby Yoda so hungry?
Why wasn't he?
It's a growing,
he ate everything
child.
this episode.
A growing child.
Yeah.
You know how it works.
And this is Maggie, and I stand one little gremlin.
Aw, cute. Cute. Where are the goggles? Where are the goggles, though? We need to see the child's goggles. Oh, yeah. Ready to rock.
Celebrating Halloween. He's got his Hershey bar and everything.
Ready to hit the mean dunes of Tatooine. We need to get the child some eye protection for sure. So I'm excited. I'm glad to be here tonight with everybody, and I cannot wait to talk about Chapter 10. And this is going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot to break down here, but of course, what we want to do at the beginning of this, we want to talk a lot about some of the things that we're doing. Just to give everybody a little heads up, we promoted it last week, and we've been really pushing it. And Maggie, I want you to talk about the charity, because you had a jump up in fundraising this week, correct?
Yes.
Look at that.
So we hit $11,138 this week, which is just incredible.
138.
And our fundraiser is going to continue until December 20th. So you have plenty of time to donate if you feel the need to, or if you want to share it with people who may be interested in giving money. It is still very much alive. And we actually, Leslie Headland just responded to one of my tweets about it the other day again. So
sweet.
Super awesome to see someone who is going to be doing another Star Wars show supporting it still.
Yeah.
So super exciting.
Absolutely. This is cool. 1138 is actually in your current total, so this is a cool little screen grab. It's a little Star Wars thing. It's a little nod to Star Wars. If you don't know, I am going to be donating one of these shirts to anyone that donates $40 to the cause. So
if anyone listening right now is the $40 donation we got this week, I don't know how to reach out to you, so hit us up with a tweet. Because it was exactly $40, so I figured it must have been somebody who listens.
Yeah, so definitely. $40 donation will get you one of these shirts. $100 donation will get you a hoodie. Very soft hoodie. Very nice and warm. It's going to be cold here soon, so might want to show that off, and I'm proud to send it to you. So yeah, hit us up at SW Friends Show or show at StarWarsFriends.com, and I'll gladly get that out to you. So for those that we're expecting to see our good friend Ross Sambridge, who is right here. Ross is actually watching.
Hey,
Ross was going to be joining us tonight, but Ross is he's going to be joining us for a sit-down interview where we're going to explore his career a little bit later. So glad to have you, Ross. Ross is over across the pond, so the time difference is a little wild. We are happy to have him in the chat tonight, though, so this will be cool. Thank you for joining us tonight, Ross, in spirit and online. So thank you very much. I do want to give a quick shout out at the beginning of the show here before we get started. We had a really cool tweet come through from our good friends at Rebel Art Empire. This is so cool.
Yes.
It's so awesome.
So
Love
at
that.
Rebel Art Empire, Thrawn is coming. The Star Wars Friends Show inspired pin. They're the best. Look
They
at
really are.
I love that pin. That is awesome.
So cool.
guys
Hashtag
are
Come
so
on, boys.
cool.
Can't wait.
So you can pick that up. You can find them at Rebel Art Empire on Twitter and Instagram. So please do check them out. And that is just a magical pin. So that was cool to see this week. That was fun.
Yeah.
And we also did something else pretty fun. We got an interview in with one of the most incredible people in all of Star Wars, Mr. Gary Whitta.
Such a fantastic interview.
He was great.
So great.
Yeah.
How did you guys feel about that interview? I mean, that was like, for me, that was huge. I mean,
That was
I was
huge for me.
whoa, dude.
Go ahead, Maggie.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say he just kept going on. Like I could just sit there and like listen to him.
know.
Like I didn't even have to say anything. Like he just kept going on telling
He had
stories.
such
And I'm like,
good stories.
I'm like this. Like, oh my god, that's pretty
He was
awesome.
cracking me up. I was like, does he have the notes? Because he kept like, I was about to ask a question about something, and then he would just answer all of it, and I'm like, I guess I don't have to say that. And then we were like, okay, Maggie, ask him about the book, and then he was like, oh, I have this book, and it's like, geez, like,
It's like, are you in our text thread?
what is going on?
So this episode is currently live on all of our podcast channels. You can find it at StarWarsFriends.com. You can find it SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can find it on Podchaser. There's like 500 other weird pod sites that I've never heard of that people will send me links to. They're like, hey, you're on this? And I'm like, no, not at all. Very cool. So you can find that interview. And then we are actually going to drop a video of this over the weekend. So we'll have a video of the Gary Whitta interview over the weekend. Very excited about that. That was fun. And we got to put him on the spot. I mean, who gets to put Gary Whitta on the spot? I mean, that was like super fun. So please go ahead and listen to that episode. Hopefully you guys like it. We're doing this because the world is crazy and we need positivity. We got a lot of positivity today. Some of us did. We're very excited. But that's a different show. But we are definitely in a great mood today because chapter 10 of The Mandalorian, The Passenger, dropped today.
10.
And yeah, 10. 10. So let's do what we do and let's talk about when we watched it and then let's dive into the episode. So The Passenger had some type of like, someone tweeted at me and they were like, yo, what is this episode going to be about? I think Mitch Bloom tweeted at me and he goes, what do you think this episode's going to be about? And the Disney Plus preview said something about a ferry. The Mandalorian is going to ferry a passenger. So I thought ferry was going to be the water episode that they
did it on purpose.
They rope-a-doped us.
Ferry, come out. They like totally. They were like, they're gonna think this is that water one,
right?
Jerks.
We got
Right. So yeah, I got hoodwinked for sure.
Ready
That's
to
okay.
see Sasha Banks tonight.
I thought we were definitely going to see the Mandalorian Sasha Banks tonight. The
Now
maskless
she's
Mandalorian.
a Mandalorian, of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kyle, wait a second. Hang on, Josh. We have Kyle to do. Listen,
Oh,
hang on.
no.
No.
Ready? Boba Fett is alive!
I didn't even know he was gonna do that.
Look at that, baby. I'm just going to leave it up the whole time. Just cover our
Out of
faces.
here.
Telling you, when that comes out to be Commander Cody, y'all are gonna be
Stop,
disappointed.
dude.
Kyle's gone.
Kyle's done. Oh, dude. So I mean, listen, it's now fact. Boba Fett is alive,
Well,
and
just a
we're all
raggedy
here
old
for it.
clone.
We're all here for it. So, Kyle, what you weren't on the last reaction show? Hit us with what went through your mind when you saw Boba Fett, or presume Boba Fett, or at least the armor, Cobb Vanth? What did you think?
I was like, why did the Sarlacc eat his eyebrows and leave the rest of his face? That's just insulting.
Hey,
Apparently
it's
it
all
only
the
burns
fashion in
hair.
the desert.
He needs the eyebrows to catch the sand. Keep it. I mean, that's like their whole job. Think
Right.
of how dusty his eyes have been for years, decades.
Yeah, I mean, but were you at least like kind of excited? Were you kind of?
Yeah, I'm
know-
excited by the whole prospect of it because as much as I'm like a quote Boba Fett hater, my whole thing is that his canon story is lame. So
Yeah.
if we can make it cool, make it cool. I'm into that.
Cool
I already said this to you guys, but I'm gonna say it again for anyone that is now or ever listening. I am irritated that that it was all over the internet that Timothy Olyphant got cast in The Mandalorian because I am a fan of his and lots of stuff that he's been in. And when he took that helmet off, if that had been a surprise to me, that could have been such a cool thing. But instead it was just like, oh, it is him. So
really, like, I mean, I was still excited. I mean, his hair kind of like, he pulled the helmet off, his hair kind of like puffed out.
He's got the best hair.
It was like good looking hair. Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Hell of a mustache too, if the role calls for it, frankly. But that's not my point. It wasn't your place to ruin that for me, whoever you were, people.
Right. Are you at least excited to see where the Boba Fett story goes?
Oh my god.
The Commander Cody story? Yes. I am.
Yeah. See, right?
Same, yeah.
Hang on. Let me remind you.
The guilt he's been living with.
I'm in the V.
I will say, I went back. I've watched that episode
very well.
I've watched that episode like 4 times now, and I've gone back. And I remember we talked about this last week. And remember, I said when I saw Timothy Olyphant come in, I didn't hear the spurs, and I was like, "Wait a minute, something doesn't make sense here." When I went back and I watched it again, and when you see that last little bit with Tamara Morrison as he's walking like towards the camera, you do hear it there. And I went,
but you also do hear it in the cantina. So I remember when you said that, and I watched it the next day. You can hear the spurs on Cobb Vanth in the cantina when he walks through. You definitely hear it. So I guess both of them have the spurs. They have the magic spurs.
I don't know.
It's there.
Spurs aren't that hard to come by, I'm sure.
No, dime a dozen out there.
Yeah.
You can get your hands on some if you're inclined.
I'm glad that Kyle is on board with Boba Fett, and I am so excited that he is alive.
I've always liked Commander Cody. I'm down with all the clones, man.
Cody sucks.
If that's the clone that they chose, if they said, okay, we're going to bring Tamara Morrison back, who do we have him play? And that's the clone they chose?
Well, no, it's because he's connected to Obi-Wan.
Nope, Boba or Rex, nobody else.
Oh, give me a Josh.
So Josh
got 2 eyes.
Open up your mind.
Josh brings up a good point in the chat here. So thank you for everyone joining us in the chat. Happy Friday night. Glad to have you tonight. This is a spoiler cast, so I don't want to see any sobby tweets after this.
It says recap. Come on, guys.
Hey,
We're reacting to the show. We watched.
We got yelled at.
We're going to talk about. We got yelled at.
So Josh Laws puts here, shaved eyebrows are the Tusken Raider Creed. Now, I don't know if that's the case, but I have seen a lot of speculation that Boba Fett has integrated with the Tusken Raiders. So we'll see where it goes.
He had one of their stick things on his back.
Yeah, the gaffy stick
He was
and the
wearing
rifle.
the robes and the gaffy stick and the rifle, which were typical Sand People weapons. Yeah.
When in Rome, you know what I mean? Who knows better how to survive in the sand than the people named after it?
I did.
And Lauren asked, anyone else get a real quick Chris Pine vibe when we first saw Cobb or
I just sent you a tweet, Lauren.
A Chris Pine tweet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why has Hollywood not let Chris Pine and Timothy Olyphant play brothers? Just saying.
And here we are. Cobb Vanth seemed to have spurs by the end. Thank you, Norhel. Appreciate that. And Sean, hang on. This is what you missed here. If you just tuned in, let me break it out for you, dude. Boba Fett is alive. I am not gonna get tired of yelling this.
Allegedly.
So I am. That's how we got on the Cody thing.
I don't agree with him. Just so we're clear, I love Cody.
Cody's a jerk.
Cody tried to kill Obi-Wan.
Goodbye.
Right?
They all tried to kill all of them.
I don't like them.
That was their thing, and that's why he's there watching over Obi-Wan for all this time, because he feels guilty about it.
Oh my god!
They were programmed.
Maybe it's Jesse.
It was.
He didn't really die in a Starship crash. He's still out there. I don't know.
Maybe it's the one that retired
Uncle
and
Jesse?
settled down with his Twilight girlfriend and had a kid.
Now we're talking.
Wait. You mean Omera Fett? You mean Omera Fett? Oh,
I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, I said it. Omera Fett. Hashtag Omera Fett. Hashtag Banthabomb. See what we come up with tonight. Do we think and our good friend Scott?
Oh, come on, please don't encourage them with.
Do you think they're using the Mandalorian to introduce Boba Fett again, and then Disney will still make a younger Boba Fett movie? I don't think so, unless Daniel Logan would. I mean, Daniel Logan is the only way that you would bring that back. So We'll see. I don't know. I don't think that's the case. I don't think we're going to get a young Boba Fett. Norhal says Boba, Rex, Wolf, Gregor, please. Not sure about Cody. Thank you. I like Cody's armor.
I think if you're going to do young Boba, you don't need to bring back Tamara. Like you're going to, if that's going to, it's going to be post Sarlacc adventures if we get something with him.
I got a lot of people on my side. Tonight. I feel good. This is a good Friday.
I feel like Boba getting his own series might almost be better because then they can like introduce him briefly in this one and then he can do his own thing and not like hog up all of Pedro's story.
Agreed. Now, can I say one quick prediction before we get into chapter 10 for Boba Fett, and then we can get off the Boba Fett train and everyone can be happy?
Be shocked if you didn't, Chris.
Thank you. I think, and I was talking about this with my fiance last night, I think the season is going to end with Boba Fett and Fennec Shand stealing the child, and that is going to be your cliffhanger between season 2 and 3. And it's going to build up Boba Fett as one of the most ultimate villains in Star Wars history. And people are going to wait.
Last part's pretty bold.
I mean,
did Shan get killed?
Well, no, I don't.
She got murked.
She got murked.
She
got murked by Toro Sir Galahad in episode 5 or 6 or whatever that was.
Fate was ambiguous.
Capped.
Y'all, let's be real. Thank you. Let's be real. The child is the true villain of the show.
Well, when it comes to eggs,
he will eat anything he can get his hands on.
I think so. I do. We're going to talk about this probably throughout the season, but I do think the season will end with Boba Fett stealing the child. I mean, what better way to make an ultimate supervillain than when the Mando's so close to delivering the child to a Jedi or finding the planet that Boba Fett swoops in and takes the bounty and becomes that notorious bounty hunter that we've heard forever, but we finally get to see it play out in action. And then you have the Mando and Boba Fett going toe to toe, which would be an incredible dynamic. I can't wait. I hope that that's actually the case. We'll see where the season goes. I've been to Kyle's verbiage. I've been hoodwinked with Illum, and a couple other things have happened.
I gotta say, Nora's right, except for Ara Singh because she got pushed off a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I haven't seen her.
And Ventress.
Ventress.
She did.
Yeah. All right, here we are. Chapter 10. I want to see them kiss. Who do you want to see kiss? Fett and
anyone,
Mando?
everyone.
Anybody? Yeah. All the time?
All time.
Pelimato and Boba Fett?
Yeah, why
that
not?
Ship? Maggie, come on. Where's that ship? Where's Pelly and Boba?
I mean,
Hashtag
I'll get around
Pelly
that.
Boba. I don't know.
I am curious who Josh
Boba
wants
Mato?
to see kiss, though. All of them?
Yeah,
Anyone. Just anyone. Josh wants some kissing in this show.
Not enough kissing, damn it. They have everything else. All right.
Man.
So here we are. Chapter 10, The Passenger. Where did you watch it? I watched it this morning at 6 a.m. Eastern time, eating my Cheerios, drinking my coffee from my Galaxy's Edge mug, and I started my morning off like a Friday morning cartoons, just like a regular old mid-30s person would do. So I felt really good. This was my initial reaction was it felt like a horror film. It's 2 weeks too late from Halloween, but this was awesome. There's so much I want to talk about in this episode. My initial quick take is I love the creature feature. I love having Dr. Mandible. I love having Frog Lady. I love having the spiders, the Macquarie inspired design coming to life in live action. We saw them in Rebels. There were some tense moments, and I love when I watch Star Wars and I get tense. I get like, oh my God, the whole chase with the X-Wings and the Razor Crest, all the stuff that we're going to dive into throughout this episode. But I loved that this felt like a horror film, a creature feature, classic Star Wars. We got the Frog Lady voice, which I complained about the last episode that everyone sounded too human. And here we go with, fantastic episode. So that's how I watched it. Maggie, how did you watch the episode? When did you see it?
I watched it at 7:45 this morning, and we got about I think we got to the first egg consumption, and my mom was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna go start breakfast," and she came back with egg sandwiches. So,
oh wow,
that says something about my mother.
Wow, Kyle, how about you?
Well, I tried to watch when I took a little lunch break today. around noon, and then of course I recently started a new job for anybody that doesn't know, and it's been like a little insane. And then so I got about 15 minutes in, and then that got cut short by a phone call and then an email and then 100 other things. So I just watched like 45 minutes ago. I finished about a half hour before I signed on here to talk to you guys.
Fresh.
It's still fresh then.
Yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah. So, but normally I would try to have watched it like 2 or 3 times, but I only once, only one time have I seen it so far.
Yeah. Josh,
So
how about
far.
you? You were the freshest last week.
So same timeline as last week. Just watched it like at 6 o'clock, and it was really hard wanting to check my phone all day for other reasons, and not
Was something else
making sure-
happening?
Yeah, there's
Yeah, it's like a little thing happening in America right now.
That joke won't hold up in the future, but it's good
I've
today.
been real obsessed with math and percentages the last couple days for some reason. It's really
All
weird.
that magic math.
Yeah. But yeah, it's always so. Chris, you said it's a little late for Halloween. It's always Halloween in my heart. And I love the alien vibes with the eggs.
Yes.
And we even one of them like launched at Din when they had him pinned to the Razor Crest. And it felt like the face hugger like jumping. Definitely super gross, and I knew what it was going to be the moment he pulled it out and put it in his mouth. I was like, that looks like a really tiny one of those spiders from Rebels. And then here they come, and I was just like, oh, burn it all, burn the planet. Just where's the Death Star when you need it?
We can't have this
Get rid of
planet
this-
anymore.
I loved how Den's response was like, burn my entire ship down, just get rid of the
like,
spiders.
Fuck it. Yeah.
Wow.
But I loved it. It was great. I was looking forward to seeing Sasha Banks this week, but it's okay. I can wait.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, we'll wait. Justin, how about you? When did you watch it?
I watched it about 7:30 this morning, and kind of the same thing. Was getting the alien vibe. I was waiting for him to like walk over and like look at one of the eggs, and it like opened in the top, and it just right on his face, but it didn't. But yeah, for somebody with mild arachnophobia, it was kind of like, I really don't need to see this. This is really disturbing. But I did love all of the alien features. I'm not talking about like horror movie alien features. I'm talking about creature features where we got aliens that actually used alien dialect and not English. Do you know what I mean? Like, because we've been talking about that, where
loved it.
The Mythrol is just over there. Hey, how's it going? What's going on?
Hi, friends.
How's it hanging? Hi. You know, but we got like an actual Doctor. What was his name? Dr.
Mandible.
Dr. Mandible using
Mandible.
like an alien language, and she's translating for Mando. And then you get the Frog Lady, who is also using an alien language, and he's like, I can't speak Frog Lady. Do you speak Huttese? And he's like, starts speaking Huttese, and I'm like, this is what I love about Star Wars is the alien language stuff, not the dudes just speaking basic whenever they want and kind of putting it in. So maybe they listened, maybe they heard us.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Yes,
I loved Dr. Mandible and I loved that name, but the subtitles spoiled me a little bit because it said Dr. Mandible. Alien language, and then like the very next thing she says, "Oh, hey, Dr. Mandible here wants you to cover his," and I was like, "Oh, so that is his name."
Right, it couldn't have been a nickname. She couldn't have just been Wise. But I love Dr. Mandible. I think that's hilarious. It's very Star Wars comic. If you ever read the Star Wars Marvel, the old series with Jackson and all that.
And she got an idiot's hooray. I loved that too.
So good. And how does she get an idiot's array? We just happened to be on that moment where she has the rarest hand in all of Sabacc.
The hand she had. They'd been playing all day.
Cheater.
Oh, she could have swindled him.
She could have swindled Dr. Mandible.
I thought she was honest. And he's a doctor. He seems intelligent.
I love it. So, okay. This was so much fun. I think we all agree that this was just a fun episode, but it still carries the Mandalorian on his hero's journey, has to face adversity before he gets to the end. And this was quite the adversity. He battled a crate dragon just days before and now had to battle these weird snow spiders, which Josh is sad that we didn't see a Wampa. The Wampa lives on in our
I kind of
heart.
was too.
Did you really think it was
he's
gonna be a
definitely
I did in that cave. I thought for sure there'd be a Wampa in there, and I was like,
Cannot wait for you all to listen to from a certain point of view if you want Wampas.
Yes, I am very excited. So we got a copy of the Certain Point of View audiobook, and that comes out next week. The actual physical book comes out next week. So those are the collected stories of Empire Strikes Back. So just like they did from A New Hope, they're doing for Empire Strikes Back. I am very excited to read about Wampas, and I'm sure Josh is too.
This show in general definitely has like a bit of a monster hunter type thing going on. You know, like he killed the giant sea monster in the very first episode. You got your Mudhorn. You got the whatever monster things, the spiders this episode. He had the crate last episode. There's, you know, it's a thing he gets into.
Yeah.
Save our village from this big monster thing.
Very
like
monster hunters.
It's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. It is very comic booky. It's very cartoony, but it's done so well. I mean, this is what we wanted, right? I mean, this is Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, they're not like reinventing the wheel. They're just doing a really good job at it.
Just a brand new Rancor monster. I mean, really is what it is, and it's just really glorious. So, cheers to Noah. I am drinking my my hop tea here. This is a Magnum One green tea hop tea. So it is brewed with hops, and as everyone knows in the Star Wars Friends podcast, they call it pond water. So cheers to the egg water for our frog lady bathing with eggs. Yeah. That's what I'm drinking right now, which is better than the dark melon, I think.
Somebody made a good point earlier. She really should have had a better lock for that thing.
Yes.
I mean,
seriously,
she made a big deal about how it's the last chance for her bloodline, and then you just pop the top and start eating frog lady caviar. Like
they looked they kind of reminded me of, like, if you've been to the Avatar land, and I know they're in Galaxy's Edge, the little boba balls in the bottom of drinks.
Oh yeah.
When you're drinking,
that's a killer drink.
Balls.
You know,
that's a killer drink in Pandora too, by the way.
It is.
You know what they reminded me of? Did you guys, when you were like kids, make the Jell-O Easter eggs in the molds as a kid? Like, I have a very visceral, like, we had
Not
this
eggs.
We had a Jell-O mold that you would put like the top and bottom on, and then like pour it down in the hole, and you would get these little like pink or like yellow eggs, and they look just like those. So now I want to make those.
Yeah, you got to make them now. Totally.
Speaking of the eggs, I'm kind of pissed off at Ludwig, because twice in this episode he plays this cute, like, fanciful music when Baby Yoda is doing something, and like not so much the second time, but the first time I'm like, does he want to eat those? No, the music's too cute. He's not about to murder her children. Like, and then nope. Yeah, no, he's eating the eggs. And then he played the same music again when he's going through the spider egg like field, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, you're like lulling me into a false sense of security. I mean, I guess that this makes sense, but like, I'm like, don't do that. Play suspenseful music so I know it's coming.
Yes.
I love how he saved one for later.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That was funny.
He went to sleep. He like had one hidden. He's like,
spider egg field. What a horrific thing.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. It's pretty gross. Well, there's a lot to unpack here, and I'm seeing a lot of really good comments in here about all the different things we're seeing. Tim Cole chimes in about the rocket pack scene, and we're going to dive into all that.
Love that.
There is so much to break down here, and as we did on last week's React show, we're going to go through some still frames, because I don't want to push my luck with Disney. I don't want to push my luck with getting in trouble and playing actual video clips. So we're going to go through this. If you watched last week, also had issues with getting my photos to load. So bear with me as I get these to load here. I'm going to try to get them in order of the episode. So we're going to break down a few things. We see the episode starts off by continuing the last episode where the Mandalorian is riding through Tatooine on the swoop bike. You see Boba Fett's armor. It's really cool. And then you see these scoundrels, whatever they may be. The one actually looked like he was right out of The Force Awakens. I forget the species of that character, but it's small like a Jawa. And they are clearly planning a trap for Mandalorian. He's riding through those classic Tatooine valleys, and they're digging a rope trap to kind of, I don't know, disengage Mando from the swoop. And they were effective. So these scoundrels, they pull the rope right at the last second, and then the Mandalorian, the child, Boba Fett's armor, which, by the way, once again, just want to remind, Boba Fett's armor flies off of the swoop bike, and these scoundrels go ahead and they start they start going after the child. I think the one's like, yo, get the child, which is scary. And you're like, oh, damn, they're still going after him. But one of the funniest things happened. Mando, of course, takes care of business. We know
Always.
that. We know that. We know the fight choreography is at an all-time high in The Mandalorian. This is some of the best fight scenes I've seen, period, outside of Marvel movies. And he obviously dismantles the 3 heavy scoundrels, but then that weird creature, and I got to look to see what that species is. I probably knew it at one point in time, but the little creature has the child by vibroblade point, holding the knife up to the child. And Mando, quick thinking, is like, yo, dude, there's something that we can do because, oh, actually, I know what the creature was on Jakku, was riding that creature that captured BB-8. That's the same species. So they clearly are junkers like Jawas.
He has no respect for anybody.
No respect. And so the junker, Mando probably knows this is a junker species. He's like, yo, man, I have something that might be valuable to you. And then the guy's like, and then it's clearly about the jetpack. Holy shit. Was that hilarious?
Got it.
The little creature runs off with the jetpack. Mando was totally confident. He knows what's happening. Presses those few buttons on his gauntlet. And dude, one of the funniest scenes so far in The Mandalorian, the guy just like zooms up in the air on the jetpack. Could you imagine just like holding on to a jetpack and it just like launches inexplicably and then like he just plops on the ground? Like, dude, that was hilarious. That was one of my favorite Mandalorian scenes maybe ever yet. That's classic Star Wars humor. And then of course the jetpack just neatly falls back down to Tatooine and then plops over like R2-D2 in Tatooine, right? Like when the Jawa shot him. It's the same. It's poetry. It rhymes, right?
I don't know what that little Tito thing thought was gonna happen once he gave the child back, though. That was so dumb. Like even if he didn't get launched up into the sky, he was clearly just gonna get killed. Like once he turned over the baby. It was very dumb. Very, very
yes,
dumb.
Tiernan. Yes. That's yes. And then Tebow was an Ewok. Tebow is a quality Ewok, but this was a Tito. That is correct. That is Tito, that tiny little creature. So anyway, all right. So now I can share a photo. Yay! We can get into some screenshots here. So Mando has to collect his things and walk into town. Has this and it's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can zoom in here on this photo because this is really cool. So you can see that the child and Boba Fett,
so strong.
The armor is so strong. Walking through the desert of Tatooine with this really inventive, smart pack here. Has all his items on there and walks from God knows where in the desert into Mos Eisley Cantina. And there's actually a name. I saw the name for it. It's like Brunel's Cantina now. It's Brunhal, Brunel's Cantina. And
this looks like just like a wandering samurai or like a old West movie where he's lost his horse and he's got his saddlebags over his shoulders wandering through like what
is that? I walked through the desert on a horse with no name. It's got that vibe to it.
Yes. So this is pretty cool. Did you guys, I definitely got the wandering samurai vibe. Did you appreciate the Mos Eisley at night? I loved it. I thought that was super cool.
Very cool.
Different scene, a different perspective of it. We of course have these cuties. This is what I meant to play before. This is from the aftermath. This is when they're watching Tito fly up on the jetpack.
That scene was really cute.
When he went running up to him. Yeah.
It's so cute. I love it. So
the amount of violence that child has seen.
So much violence.
There was 2 jetpacks too. That's another thing. It's like,
well, did it ever cross your mind that maybe he was cool with losing the jetpack because he had Boba Fett's jetpack and was going to take Boba Fett's jetpack as part of his armor?
Ahead. He knew what he was doing.
Well, let me have fun with the Boba Fett jetpack. That's I like
there's
toys.
No fun with Boba Fett.
Yes, there's tons of fun.
No.
Boba Fett is tons of fun. That is actually canon. Don't tweet at me. All right, so now we have my favorite character in all of The Mandalorian. We're gonna pull this bad MFer up here. Let's show him off. Yeah, baby, Dr. Mandible. Oh, I love this dude.
Look at those mandibles.
I am so happy that this is in a Star Wars Disney Plus live action series. Like, this is where they went with it. This is exactly where they went with it. Is Dr. Mandible playing Sabacc with Peli Motto. And I am just so absolutely happy with this. Any thoughts on Dr. Mandible besides my excitement? Is anyone not like Dr. Mandible?
I wondered if he was a Killick, but
it reminds me of the animatronic ant thing from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. if anybody's ever seen the Rick Moranis classic.
Yes, of course. Do you remember the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Yes.
Was it the amusement park? Was it at Disney?
There's a 3D attraction at Disney World. Not that I'm a Disney nerd.
With the big Lego piece and the big ant and
Okay. Yeah.
Chris might not have seen it though. He hates 80s movies. So
I do. I don't like that movie.
So it's not as good as the Muppets 3D anyway. So
fair enough. Disproportionate Dr. Mandible. Yeah. I mean, massive creature here. So all right. So here's the whole reason. He goes to the cantina to find Peli Motto because he needs to get off of the planet to go search for more Mandalorians. That's the whole deal here. So Peli's engaged in a game of Sabacc with Dr. Mandible. He fronts Dr. Mandible's cards or his wager, so that he gets information on where to find Mandalorians, because somehow Dr. Mandible knows where Mandalorians are. I love it. Of course, Dr. Mandible does. And Dr. Mandible, of course, loses to the Idiots Array and still gives the information anyway. So now we're on a journey to a water planet. Right?
I have a Dr. Mandible comment, though.
Let's do it.
Do you know what that was supposed to be like an in-joke about?
I do not.
The director directed Ant-Man.
So, yeah, I see Norhal's, and that's Peyton Reed.
Yes.
And I got a couple text messages about Peyton Reed today, and I forgot to write down the notes. But yeah, I did receive a couple text messages from my friends about Peyton Reed, reminding me to talk about Ant-Man. I totally forgot. Sorry.
Yes. So I think that was supposed to be like a funny little nod.
Speaking of directors, who was the other director with or was it a director? Who was the other pilot with Wolf
Paul.
there?
Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out to Josh Laws here for a Space Ghost reference on the Star Wars Friends podcast. Very cool about that. The other pilot was Carson Peva.
Baby.
The other pilot was Paul Sun Hyung Lee.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a cool scene. So,
and he's a huge Star Wars fan and 501st member, so that was really cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you should look up his story. He's been wanting to be in a Star Wars for a really long time, so it was really an awesome payoff to see him finally get to be in a Star Wars.
Oh, that's even cooler. I love that.
I'll put it in the group chat so you guys.
He's done a lot of stuff. It's all smaller roles, but he's done a ton of stuff. His resume is big.
Okay. That's cool. All right, that's a fun fact.
But yes, it was the return of Director Squadron, or part of Director Squadron.
Very excited about that.
What's his last name? Wolf what? Trapper Wolf.
Trapper Wolf.
Trapper Wolf.
Trapper Wolf, dude. I actually thought about that out of nowhere earlier today. I was like, hell yeah, Filoni, Trapper Wolf coming back. I love that.
We got a runner.
So, all right, here we go. Peli Motto defeats Dr. Mandible in Sabacc, and now the Mandalorian is in search of other Mandalorians and goes back to the hangar, and goes back to Peli's hangar, where Peli's like, yo, we need this no, that's what it was. Dr. Mandible said that he had an informant that knew about other Mandalorians.
Who's going to tell him where the Mandalorians are, and she said the catch is you got to take the frog lady with you and her spawn.
Yeah, so that's what it was. So Peli had this backroom conversation, comes back out. It's like, yo, I met your ferry, your passenger, and I can vouch for this person. I'm totally all in. You can trust this person. And then Mando's like, okay, cool. And then Peli's like, but there's these caveats.
Well, I thought it was funny.
Caviar?
Well, that too. I thought it was funny because she's like, the great thing is it's free minus a little finder's fee. And he's like, well, what's the not great thing? And she goes, no, nothing. It's all great. It's all great. But clearly
that's right.
Not all great.
That's right. And one of the caveats was you couldn't use hyperspace, so you couldn't.
It'll kill the eggs, man, for reasons.
And but this water planet is very close. It's in the same system. Mando, of course, was like, "Yeah, I don't want to do this because of space pirates and bounty hunters. They're after me."
Good.
And of course, the New Republic
by going fast. Yeah.
But so here is the character that shows up with Pelimato, this sweet little frog lady, which is actually called Frog Lady. There is no character name. This is
played by the same wonderful person who played Cooley.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's Misty.
Very cool. Very cool. I will listen. This is one of the best Star Wars costumes I've ever seen. It
reminds me of the Caretakers.
Yes, that's what I thought. I really thought it was a caretaker at first, and then I mean, it's not. But
maybe the Caretakers are like toads, and Frog Lady's a frog. So like they're cousins, they're same amphibians, but they're not same.
Yeah, I mean they look very similar. This costume is just absolutely bonkers. Like this is so
the fingers and everything.
Yeah, whoever's doing the costuming on Mandalorian needs to win whatever awards that are given. I mean, this is next level stuff. So this is Frog Lady, and Frog Lady, like without a doubt, Frog Lady just like gets on the ship. Like there is no hesitation.
She just like
jumps right up there. And then if you notice, the child is like right on Frog Lady's tail. Like clearly
he was hungry and he's been eating frogs for the entirety of this season or series. So.
And Sean says Baby Yoda clearly more lethal to eggs in hyperspace. Clearly, yes, that is hilarious. And I really love Frog Lady. I didn't like Frog Lady at first, and now I'm like super stoked about Frog Lady.
Yeah.
So we are now in space, and Mando's clearly trying to get to this planet as quickly as possible. And who shows up? Not the bounty hunters. Not the scoundrels. Who do you think is going to show up? None other than what we've already said, Director Squadron, the Trapper
Republic.
Wolf, and Carson Peva. Carson Peva is the character's name. And how cool is it to see X-Wings in Mandalorian?
Awesome.
Love an X-Wing.
Man, so cool. And you can tell that if you remember to season 1, in the preview for season 1, Favreau talked about how they were using the gimbal shots to get to use live action models in a lot of these shots. You can totally tell these X-Wings are live action, or they're actual models. They're not CGI. And if you go back and watch the episode, you can see some of the movements. It's very clear, like done on a gimbal, which is super awesome. That is like old school techniques that they're using. And they're having this friendly banter back and forth. Now, these are New Republic X-Wings, and they are demanding to have the transponder turned on. And they already knew the ship's name was Razor Crest. So I was kind of curious, like how did they know it was a Razor Crest?
I think it's like, when you get pulled over, the police can run your plates and they know your name already. So I feel like there's some like system log somewhere that they can just like run the code on the back of the ship or something. Yeah, I mean there's markings on the ship. They're probably all logged.
That's true. Josh, what you got?
It was kind of sad to me that the New Republic has been like basically reduced to being like traffic cops in space.
Yeah.
Like this totally felt like that. Like Razor Crest, you got a tail light out. We're gonna need you to pull over. Like,
Yeah.
They were literally checking him for warrants. I mean,
yeah.
And he had them.
He definitely
and he still
did.
came, and they were like,
he was riding dirty.
Off.
It's on it. It's true. He was riding dirty.
He to Mando's credit, he did play it much cooler than the Martez sister who was flying through the New Republic or the Old Republic space lanes on Coruscant.
Right.
If you remember that episode of the Spice Girls. So Mando was definitely ice cold in that scene, but he knew.
Terrible liar.
Terrible liar. Yes. No Han Solo. And this was cool. So, Filoni, Trapper Wolf, he just says something like, "Hey, switch over to channel 2." And they go to radio silence, and all of a sudden the X-foil, the foils open up, and you're like, "Oh shit." And I just got goosebumps reliving that moment.
Tab goes, "What does that mean?" And I go, "You know what it means."
Oh yeah,
That's attack position, baby.
Go time.
Totally. So that was super cool. And of course, this is where we get that space chase that Lauren, our good friend Lauren, had remarked here in the chat. That space chase was sweet. Now, there was a comment made by Filoni, Trapper Wolf, who was like, yeah, that hunk of junk's not going to hold up in atmosphere. And then Mando is like struggling to get that ship like righted in that atmosphere. That was really cool. You get Pedro Pascal. Okay. One thing I've observed already in 2 episodes this season, more dialogue, more acting, more like physical acting, and less brooding, less tough guy, less menacing. You're getting more emotion out of the character. And you can tell that when he's going through atmosphere, like it's real, like it feels good. So that was fun. I just want to tell Lauren that I gave a shout out to the Martez sisters last week. Kyle, you missed it. I said I was coming around to the Martez sisters, aka Spice Girls. So we chase the Mando. These New Republic X-wings chase Mando into the ice planet. And
I thought when he like cut the engines out and dropped straight down through the clouds was like a sick move. Yeah,
yes,
that was killer. And there's a lot of really good spaceship moves in Star Wars, but
it was
that was a really good one.
It was like Mandalorian episode 10, Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
God. I'm not on board with the Fast and Furiousness, but yes, I guess.
So it's a crazy ass move when this is the subtitle.
That was hilarious.
Hey, that's also like
grabbing the frog. Yeah,
that's been me all week.
He says, "Hold on." He literally says, "Hold on," and she.
Can I just say that Din had so many fantastic like one-liners in this episode. The one at the end is like my absolute favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You'll be dead. Sweet dreams.
Like they don't have the oh shit handle in the Razor Crest. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? The one up here. Like I need the oh shit handle in there.
This screenshot here looks like Yoda falling off the handstand.
Yes.
It was so much fun. This was such a fun scene, and everything about the interplay of Frog Lady and Mando is just great. He gets so frustrated. I think we talked about it earlier on the show where he's trying to talk Huttese. Like, dude, that is just hilarious. I really love this episode. And
that's about right with some glass packs on the back.
Seriously, that is a perfect description.
Yes. Now, I don't have any screenshots, unfortunately, because it's very limited to pull some of these things off the internet the day of the show. Disney obviously doesn't like their stuff being used without permission, and they're not really trying to show a lot here. But they crash into this ice planet, and it's a really incredible scene where they're going through valleys, and Mando kind of pulls a trick maneuver, goes through a tunnel, and then crashes through a cave floor. Now, he is like buried. He is toast in this ice cavern, and the X-Wings are long gone. They couldn't find him. So, wouldn't you know, the Razor Crest is all super damaged. Worse than the Millennium Falcon was at the end of Solo.
Shocking, really.
It was super beat up. Kyle, what you got, man?
This was and Lauren in the chat said about she felt all the Rebels vibes, and there were tons of Rebels things in this episode. But
so many.
The fall through the ice and then getting stuck in like the ice cavern underneath was with a monster creature, a different kind of monster creature. But that was just like when Zeb and Callus had that storyline in Rebels. It reminded me of that immediately.
Yeah, it's very cartoony, and we'll get into this another Rebels connection here in just a moment. So they're in the bottom of this ice cave, and I wish I had a screenshot of it. The Razor Crest is all ripped up. I mean, it is the whole, as he said, the whole lost its integrity. Has a giant 3 meter wide hole. I mean, just missing panel, just gone in the hole.
Not what you want to see in your spaceship.
No, not when you need to break atmosphere. It's really
wild. He kept saying it's lost its integrity, which is what he said about his armor.
Oh, wow, a Needles reference here. Okay, I like it. So, of course, the hole is broken, and by this time, the child is already eaten a couple eggs. And let's see. Let me pull this up. This is awesome. This is so much fun. Let me look at this child, because the child before this, I guess I didn't even mention this. Frog Lady was up in the cockpit with Mando. Child was down in the hole with these eggs. And I do have a photo of it here. Of course, it's mislabeled. Let's see here. Eating eggs is the title of this photo.
If anyone wants a really bad joke, you have to message me on DMs, because I don't
like bad how? Like bad how?
It's a funny egg joke. Let me just say.
Egg jokes. There we go. So
it's excellent.
So here is
can't be worse than that one.
So
don't tell them it's not Ilum, longtime listener. They'll act like you peed in their Cheerios.
Right. So here we are at the caviar, the eggs here, and this is so much fun. And we're crashed now. Okay, I just wanted to show this photo. This is what the child's doing. So eating eggs, and the whole loss of integrity.
If you thought swallowing a live frog whole was delicious, wait until you try an unborn frog egg.
Brandon's right on point here.
Yeah.
God.
Oh my God, gross.
This episode was gross enough without the eggs being like an apple.
Gross. So Mando's basically done. He's like, yeah, I can't fix this. There's nothing I can do. It's going to get dark and it's going to get super cold. So he tries to go to sleep, and then all of a sudden is woken up by none other than our friend from season 1, Zero, the killer droid. And what a cool moment where Frog Lady is communicating through the transponder or the communicating device of Zero, which is great. It's a protocol droid. So of course that the protocol droid is going to know how to speak Frog Lady.
I loved that.
And it's in Zero's voice, which is super creepy, super cool. And Mando's like freaked out. I mean, he just woke up from a cold sleep and was like woken up to this. And mind you, he just battled a crate dragon, and he's very tired and wakes up to this.
This poor man, if you think about how much he's gone through, he probably hasn't actually slept since he left, landed at Tatooine and then went out to Mos Pelgo and then went on the crate dragon thing and then walked all the way through the desert and then got on his ship and he's like, hey, I'm going to nap.
Right. Just needs a little bit of sleep.
10 minutes.
I mean, in her defense, she is trying to ensure the continuation of her bloodline, and this is the last opportunity.
And he gets that. So she tells him that through Zero, and he gets it. So then, here's Ross. I just missed this one here. Egg jokes, I'm shell shocked. Yeah, love it.
But
you really let that over easy.
So here we are. So Mando's like, all right, yeah, I get it. To Kyle's point, Mando gets that he's got to help the survival of the species, but he also has his mission where he has to find another Mandalorian. So he gets out of the hole and tries to repair it. And then, of course, our cute little friend, the child, he's like making this noise. He's like, and how vocal was the child this episode? More noises than we've ever heard. Man. Yeah.
He's going to say no.
More than we've ever heard the child coo and make little cute noises. But then the child's like, yo, hey, come look. Like there's something going on. He's trying to get Ben's attention. Yeah, right. Yeah. It's only there.
What's that?
But first, can we talk about the fact that Den was like, come over here and like be useful and help me work on the ship. Like
so
an
annoyed.
Absolute dad move. Like, the father that's like looking into like the baby's cradle and he's like, is it gonna pay rent?
Right. Yes, that was totally that moment. I love that very much.
Same, Sean. Same.
Same. I'll agree, Sean. I like that. So he's like, no, man, like, what are you doing? Like, there's nothing over here. And sure enough, he turns on his infrared scope on the helmet and sees the footprints of Frog Lady, who disappeared into a ominous ice cavern. I don't know if I would be brave enough to do that on an alien planet, but Frog Lady is fearless and gives no Fs. And we kind of go through where Frog Lady is. She's in a amazing looking hot spring. Wow. I mean, it looked fantastic. You imagine being in a cold, like it's like Iceland where it's chilly and cold. And then you have those hot springs that you can just hang out in. Frog Lady was living large, had all of her spawn in the hot spring.
Keeping them warm, man.
Oh,
very cold there.
I mean, it was very risque, by the way. So if you are a PG-13
I know we
audience,
got naked frog time. I mean,
that might be a first in Star Wars. So family friendly. That's all I'm saying. Family friendly. And but it was a funny scene. And Mando was like, "Yo, dude, you got to get back to the ship. This is crazy." And starts collecting the eggs and putting them back into the totally unlocked, easy access Rubbermaid container.
Yeah.
And
no child locks on that.
No,
Not
not
at
childproof at all. They got to work
It's
on
a flip top lib. It's irresponsible.
It's almost as effective as the Razor Crest security system.
That's
I'm
actually
sure
why they can't go to
Right.
hyperspace because of the lid.
It'll just flop
not
open and they'll
pressurized.
fly out. Yeah. It's
Right.
such an easy problem to solve.
That's so
Right.
funny. So Mando's collecting the eggs, and of course, our good friend the child waddles away, super cute, and we
Still
start-
starving.
Yeah,
So
still-
hungry.
so hungry. But we see all of these very weird little shapes, like round shapes coming off of the ground. And if you are, to Josh's point early in the episode, a fan of Aliens, this was an homage of Aliens. So here's the thing. In 2 weeks of The Mandalorian, we get Tremors, we get Arachnophobia, and we get Alien. I mean, what else can we
Living
get?
that 80s
So
dream that life right
So
now.
remember, season 1, it was like all comedians. You had
Yeah.
comedians on every episode. Maybe this season is all horror movies.
I'm into it. I'll take it. Give it to me.
I mean, we got a little bit of a kind of a taste of it with the prison episode in season 1.
Yeah.
So maybe they're like, oh, let's just do a whole season of all horror movie theme things. So let's see where
I
they go
am
next.
so here for 80s and 90s horror films to be brought to The Mandalorian. I'm here for
They're
it.
doing them well. They're
doing
definitely
really well.
Yeah, I really enjoy this, and I can't wait to watch this episode again. I'm very excited. But of course, he's still hungry. Child's still hungry. So he
hungry.
dives right into that ice suga and kind of gets into that very sticky, nasty spider egg, pulls out that little baby spider, and he has the damnedest time trying to eat that thing. It was disgusting.
Can I just say, this is why you should never tell your child no about one thing, because they'll just find another alternative of what to stick their mouth on next.
Good point.
Literally, he was like, oh, so I can't eat those eggs? I'll just go find other eggs.
Good point.
And
That
the
is-
child's oh shit moment.
that is super
Well,
funny. Yeah.
it just teaches you that as a parent, you need to have your head on a swivel so that
Mhm.
they're not putting, because like our 6-month-old will put stuff in her mouth all the time.
And they're so fast.
Right, and they're pretty quick. You turn your head and they're doing it. So
So we got this ice suga with the spider suga or whatever. You think the Jawas would eat that egg? You think they would get that excited about that egg? I mean, that's.
Would you?
I won't. I mean,
If I was
would
really
anyone?
hungry,
Does anyone actually still want to go back and eat the suga? Like, would you?
The hairy
dive in?
mudhorn egg looks like it could make a delicious omelet.
It's like a Cadbury egg.
yeah, I was like, it looks like
Yeah.
a Cadbury egg.
Cadbury egg.
This
Fun-
green spider egg.
That's nasty.
No, thank you.
That's nasty. You
Maybe
can
I'd
buy your
roast
own
it.
suga egg though on Celebration. The Celebration store, Star Wars Celebration merch has its own suga plush, which is hilarious. I don't know if I'm going to buy it though. But here we are. So child's eating the spider egg, and then all of a sudden it's got the hive mind, right? It's connected to all the other eggs, and then all of a sudden it starts rumbling, and there's literally hundreds of spiders in the same cavern. And then turns out to be thousands. They emerge from their disgusting little eggs, and everyone, rightfully so, is like absolutely terrified. Awesome moment. And what come charging over the another cavern is a giant spider. Like, they just progressively get larger and more frightening. Now, I have a lot of photos of these spiders, but I really want to show a couple here before we show what was on the show. So number one, this spider comes from a Ralph McQuarrie sketch. If you're not familiar with Ralph McQuarrie, this is basically the visual architect of what we know as Star Wars. George Lucas worked with Ralph McQuarrie to design all the original concept artwork for the first trilogy. And this spider right here is what we see not only in this episode, The Passenger, but we also see it in Star Wars Rebels. So this is the McQuarrie sketch. Let me go ahead and pull up the Rebels photo here, and you could do a little comparison of the three. What did you guys think of the spiders?
Gross.
Creepy.
Why couldn't it have been follow the butterflies?
Purgil. Could have been some Purgil.
Purgil
So
would have been. I'll freak out if we see some Purrgil in this show.
Oh my god, could you imagine? Oh my god. So here's the Rebels spider. Very similar to the Macquarie spider. Obviously, we don't get to see all the eggs that were laid here, but you do see them in
Rebels.
this episode.
I'm pretty sure they were all the exact same size too.
They were. They definitely were. No,
but
you're
that was
right.
also a totally different planet.
Right, and I think the ones in the cave, the eggs obviously were newborns, but the ones that came out of the cave were bigger.
Like
they
toddlers.
didn't
They
come
were
out
all
of the
different
eggs.
kinds
The
of
bigger
sizes.
ones came out of the cave.
Look at that sucker.
Right.
And started to chase. And then the really huge mama one came through the ceiling. But yeah, that is nasty.
Look at that sucker. So
Okay.
So Mando, naked frog lady, gets changed real quick, and
She snatched
But
her clothes with her
she
tongue.
snatched her clothes with her tongue. That was
That's
awesome. She was like, "Oh shit!"
that's right. That was funny. That was good. And then they're all getting the hell out of there. There's blaster fire like crazy. There's a really great scene where Mando kind of like arms his flamethrower, and you get to see the little pilot light, which is super cool. And then just like you don't get to see it, which I love, but you know what happens. He just sets fire to, hundreds of these spiders, and they eventually get to the ship. They crawl through that tunnel or the hole that was put in the hole of the Razor Crest, and they make their way up into the cockpit. Now, I lost track of the child in this moment. I didn't know where the child was at this moment. But they eventually they get revealed that they were in the cockpit, Frog Lady and the child. So there's this great horror scene, very Walking Dead-esque, where all of these spiders are starting to like try to go through the doors of the cockpit, and he is just firing. He's just blasting. And there are spiders that make it inside the cockpit. We get a reveal that Frog Lady has this tiny little like lipstick pistol that's just like doo doo, like a Haldo type pistol.
Noisy cricket.
Yeah, like a noisy cricket.
Pulls out the noisy cricket.
Yes. That is totally a noisy
Looked
cricket.
like something Padme would carry when she was on like a sketchy diplomatic mission.
Oh, that's so funny.
And she had really good aim. Let's
oh my god,
praise her for that. She shot 3 off from around the
she
child.
William Telled him right off the top of his head.
Yes, right. Very cool. You see the child's face, very cute, and Mando's like, "What? Like you got a blaster? Okay, let's do this." And then he gets his flamethrower back out and just totally lights these spiders up. Close the cockpit door. And then you're like, how do they get out of this? How do they get out of this? They are surrounded by the most terrifying spiders. I didn't mention that giant spider I had up on screen just a few seconds ago. Mando thought that he lost him. He like blew him up with some thermal detonators and thought that giant spider was gone for good. And that was not
came back.
That was not the case. Now, Lauren poses a question here. Anyone else hear Django? And I heard Django's blaster last season. I was definitely noticeable last season, that same sound effect that you hear from Django's blaster. I did not notice that in this episode, but I will definitely go back and listen to it, just like listening for Boba Fett's spurs. And I'll just leave this up here for a second.
Goodbye.
Oh, Maggie's gone. Okay. I'm going to keep that graphic going forever. And
it's going to get us kicked off, just like Beaumont.
No, I don't know if anything's as deadly as Beaumont. Beaumont has proven to be a show killer and a movie killer. Anyway, so we think that the spider's gone. It's not. It totally is back. And it totally just like, where do I have it? I have it somewhere here. I think I have the photo of the spider.
That thing's mouth was horrifying.
Boom! Just drops right on the Razor Crest here.
Yeah, Star Wars loves that like multiple rows of teeth thing. You see it all the time in.
It's like the Sarlacc
creatures.
pit too.
Yeah, and the crate dragon and
sandworm,
everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't Lucas go back and put extra teeth in the Sarlacc? I mean, there was never. I mean,
he added the beak. I know that
the beak was there. I thought he added extra teeth too. If teeth are disgusting. So this spider is smashed, the already smashed Razor Crest. This thing is taking a beating, dude. Whoa. I mean, he already had to put it together. Like it was totally disassembled by the Jawas, had to rebuild it with Quill. And what do you think the ghost of Quill thinks right now? I mean, he is probably not too happy about this. and you think all hope is lost. All of a sudden, some blaster fire happens, and it is none other than our good friends, the New Republic pilots, Trapper Wolf and Carson Peva. I was only able to pull this shot here. I could not find one of Filoni, but here is and what's this dude's name? It was his actual name,
Paul.
Okay. So he plays a character, Carson Peva, and they're just blasting. I love that rifle. That's a classic Star Wars rifle. I don't remember the actual model name, but that is definitely seen in other films and
in Empire.
Yep. And I believe also Return of the Jedi, the battle, the Endor battle, the ground battle. So this is definitely a rebel rifle, and they blast all the spiders away. And Din Djarin's like, what is going on? He heads out and he just slowly walks up to these New Republic pilots and they aren't firing on him. They're just firing at the spiders. Kyle, what you got?
Well, one, I loved the sound effects. I knew it was the X-Wings as soon as I heard it, as soon as the big one died. I loved hearing the X-Wing blasters and the rifle blasters, but did anybody else think that this was like kind of weird? Like, why would these pilots land and save him just to be like,
peace out?
Yeah, we kind of should arrest you, but you're also kind of good. So I guess
it was weird,
right?
It washes out.
It kind of felt like, once again, like the classic Western thing of like trying to capture the bad guy, but he's done something good. We found out that you're actually not a bad person and you've helped us in the past. We'll let you go. It's that whole like Western trope of like honor before crime.
I get why they would decide to let him go, because even though he's like a rogue or whatever, he has a heart of gold. I get all that, but like, why did they come back just to tell him?
Maybe they saw that,
and then leave him there to die with his broken.
I did wonder why they left him
cut
with
open
the
ship.
I was like, y'all.
Because he even said, "Why don't you come help me fix my ship?" And they're like,
"Yeah,
we're good."
So like, we'll save you from the giant spider monsters so you can die of exposure over the course of a week. Bye. Like, I just didn't really understand it.
It wasn't like they were down in the hole for 20 minutes. They had to have been down there for half a day, maybe a day.
A good while.
At least.
Yeah, I mean,
so these dudes were flying around trying to find this ship for half a day to a day, maybe two. Like,
and then
really?
half rescued him just to say, we're gonna let you go. Like, I didn't really understand.
Yeah, so, I mean, maybe it was just like, yo, we're on to you. Be careful. It was just that warning. But you're right. I mean, they're definitely going to be in play at some later point in time. Maybe not those pilots. Maybe the other half of Director Squadron. But the New Republic is on to Mando. Is definitely on to Mando. So Lauren Romo put it in here. This is interesting. It's the last time we see the Razor Crest. To clarify, after the next episode, as we see it in the trailer, it barely makes it. Yeah, we finally get that shot that we saw in the preview of a just totally beat down Razor Crest. It is. How the hell is this thing space worthy?
Oh, we see it again. Isn't it in the background of the second trailer when Mando's walking with the child towards Grief?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So
they have to get back to Navarro.
Yeah.
I think the crest is like a part of his kit. I think it's going to always be fixed up. I'd be surprised if he ever lost it.
It's like the Millennium Falcon. Like, you beat it up, you fix it up. You don't like trade it in for a new ship.
Yeah, it's taking a bigger beating in my opinion than the Falcon. When Han Solo calls the Falcon the hunk of junk, I mean, the Razor Crest is clearly the actual hunk.
Hey, she's got it where it counts.
That's true. That's true. So the New Republic fighters, the pilots, they save Din Djarin. They take off, split. Din Djarin does a couple just, I guess, minor repairs and seals up the cockpit so it has some integrity, which is an interesting move. I just didn't even think about that. That makes sense. And takes it back up into atmosphere. And the last shot we see in the episode is the beaten down Razor Crest heading towards their destination of that water planet.
Yeah. He basically says, use the bathroom because we're going to be locked in the cockpit and this is not going to be that pleasant.
Can we talk about Din calling it the privy when literally
I thought that was funny too.
But last episode, Tiernan and I were talking about this like last episode. He was like, he called something like a flight of fancy, basically, or something. I'm like, I love a man that uses like old English.
Yeah.
I have been quested.
British. Yeah, quested. That was so
I have
weird.
been quested to deliver this child to its
Did.
What a
You
weird
funny,
verbiage, man.
Love it.
So I'm very excited.
Well, they
with
would
all...
do that, so we had to buy a new piece of merchandise. That's
Well,
Yeah,
true.
let's be real. They are milking the Mando merch.
They really are. Mando Monday is deadly.
Have you
He
seen the
is a fancy
celebration merch?
lad.
I did see the celebration merch. Very
It's
excited
Mando
about it.
heavy.
I added
it's
I
heavy
added up
Mando.
everything I wanted together, and the price.
I can't. Well,
Yeah,
cuts.
it's ooh.
Who's gonna,
I mean,
who's gonna get me things I want early? Since
Just
I didn't
let me
have
know. Just let me
celebration
know.
tickets.
Yeah.
Just let me know.
Yeah,
let
we
us
can get
know. We'll hook you up. So definitely excited about that celebration merch. Now, speaking of what Mando said something else that we glossed over in our react was he told the New Republic pilots, "May the Force be with you."
Mhm.
I love it. I love it. Now we got to hear Din Djarin
He was
say it.
trying to play. He was trying to like. That's like when you're being polite to the cop, you know. He's
Yes.
like, "Oh, these guys are gonna eat this shit up." And may the Force be with you. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Well, and
I
I think the
love it.
first time we heard that reference though was in the first episode with Pelly. She goes, "Oh, thank the Force."
Thank
That's
the
the
Force.
first time I think in the show that anybody had referenced it as the Force, because nobody in season 1 did. So that was kind of cool to finally hear it, and then he reiterated it in this episode. I'm like, okay, you know,
when
so
they
he knows-
responded, and also with you, which is not actually a typical in canon response.
Yes,
It's like a silly thing I say.
It's so funny. So that was cool. Are we satisfied with this episode?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
it was
Honestly,
good. I don't
I-
like spiders, but
No, I don't like spiders either. But honestly, when I finished it, I was like, people are not going to like this episode because they're going to call it a filler episode. But Mandalorian hasn't really had any filler episodes. They all tie together at some point. You get some little kernel. I really thought it was fun. I thought it felt like I was talking with my friend Arzu on Twitter about how Mandalorian has been really good with world building. And there was so much about this episode and the previous episode that makes Star Wars feel lived in, which, you know, it's the little things like going to the cantina after work and like the little built-in things that kind of harken back to the prequels that have that like Jax's diner and like all those little elements of like city life and country life. And this is just another one of those episodes that's like really nailing the lived in Star Wars. So that's my long rant.
I love it. I love seeing, you're right. I love seeing the cantina scenes. You mentioned the after work at the cantina. That's classic. Now, there was a rumor floating around for a long time prior to the Mandalorian live action show that they were going to do a cantina short story, like a 8-part short story about the cantina on Disney Plus. This was prior to the Mandalorian. And I'm here for any cantina shots that they want to do. I'm here for any of that.
Does anyone know what species that was at the cantina? It almost looked like a Wookiee, but it wasn't. It had a different face. It was talking to the brunette woman at the bar.
I have to go back and look.
Hairy thing.
Yeah, and it was like a beigey brown, like large.
I thought it was the same creature as in Rogue One, it was a big white woolly kind of thing that had a backpack on. It fought on the rebel side, but I don't know what it was called. But there was one in there, and that's what I thought it was at first. But then
it might have been
looked like the head was wider, so I don't know what it was.
They've been reusing a lot of creatures from previous.
It's a Gigoran, which is it's the white one with the mask. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
So we got a Tito and we got a Gregorin. I'm into it.
I think someone actually corrected us on. Well, I think Tito is like a misnomer because that's clearly the name of the individual, not the species. But that somebody corrected us in the chat that we were not referring to the right thing.
Like, you mean
Tito
like the why not?
Tito is a species, I think. It's
like
Tito's
a species, and then there's Tebow. Tebow is an Ewok.
Yeah.
Right. So, but Tito is the species with a little junker.
I think that's his name because she's like, well, that's Tito. He doesn't respect anybody.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that's what,
no.
that's what
Wikipedia says it's a species.
Really?
Yeah, it's just like what was the species last week that went by the Wynock or? The bartender. He went by the species.
Weequay? The Weequay?
Yeah, Weequay. There we go.
Yeah,
Wow.
he didn't have a name. It should have been like Earl or like,
So here's a funny thing. The species is Tito. The name of the individual is also Tito.
We are
So
Tito.
that's like you when you're born, your mom's like, just call him person. That'll be fine.
This is human. I love Tito. Well, I'm happy that Tito had a beautiful send off on that jetpack. I'm very excited with this episode. It definitely is not filler to me. I am probably the first one to kind of call out filler episodes or what I think filler episodes are. This is not a filler episode. And Maggie, you said it earlier. I mean, there's so many things that connect. Like last season, I thought the Tatooine episode was like a fan service episode. And here we are. It's one of the major locations now in The Mandalorian, major location in Star Wars history. And we're starting to see a lot of really great world building come out of this. It's really fun seeing this. And yes, an AT-AT is always an AT-AT.
Everybody knows it's an AT-AT. That's
Always an
obvious.
AT-AT. No.
Never hurts to reiterate it.
That doesn't say AT-AT. It says AT-AT, hence the periods.
Gary Whitta, Rogue One architect.
No,
Gary
I'm telling
Whitta
you what Noah is saying.
is Team
I
AT-AT.
can read periods.
Agree to disagree, I guess.
Gosh.
So
Hi, human.
I'm
Josh, it's
human.
2020. Your reality is just whatever you create, man. It says
fake
that.
I'm
news.
just telling you that I can read this sentence better than you. The periods show
my
that
God.
it's not AT-AT.
Hook yourself up to Zero. What does Zero say? I love this episode. I can't wait to see what's in store. Do you think that they're going to go right to the water planet next episode, or are we going to get like an Omera episode or a Grief and Kara episode?
I think we're kind of assuming it's the water planet because she said it's the species. It's a planet where our species can thrive.
Isn't
and
she in
she's
the
a frog,
trailer too?
but-
There's
frog
like somebody
lady?
with, I think somebody with some sort of like weird.
It's a
canister.
backpack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a backpack. But do we think that the next episode is going to be Grief Karga Cara Dune?
I think it'll be the water planet.
because that crest is all broken down. They're going to have to get to the next planet over.
Yeah.
Right, but like with Clone Wars, the kind of continuity will jump over all over the place.
No, because that would break from the format they did last season.
Okay. All right. So we're going to Water Planet then. What's going to happen?
Was it called Task or something like that? Trask.
Mm-hmm.
So Noah predicts Boba Fett on a dragon, which is quite possible.
I'm getting sick of Noah.
It's quite possible because
Stop feeding him.
it's very true. Kyle's
I'm
done.
Here. I'm out of here.
Anyone have any idea of later what's going to happen next week? Hit us with it. Anyone have any ideas? Anything?
I hold up to my same theory I had last week about what's going to happen on the water planet. I was just an episode off.
Yeah, same.
I think they'll run into more bounty hunters or something. I think that Sasha Banks will be one of these Mandalorian, especially since like it seems like maybe they could be the ones that left his, So I don't know. There's a lot of potential there. I really hope that she is. Yeah, yes, Tiernan. Den takes a nap. It's one episode of just Den sleeping.
Oh my God.
30 minutes of him just sleeping in a helmet.
So I'm gonna watch it.
I mean, I would watch it multiple times.
I mean, I do put the Darth Vader the pyre scene on for my Yule log over Christmas time. So that's like 30 hours of Darth Vader on fire.
I really
right.
want to see the child on the ship, and somebody just has like fish and a crate, and he's just like,
oh my God, he's gonna just overeat. He's gonna overeat. It's gonna be too crazy.
I bet he's about to hit a growth spurt.
Oh, maybe.
oh my God.
More talkative, way more verbal this episode. Are we gonna hear a word this
He's
season?
gonna say shit.
right. It just goes super hard. But yeah, I mean, are we gonna hear him talk this season?
I'm glad that Den is talking more.
Yes, so am I.
So happy. And I really think part of that is having Pedro in the costume more often.
Yeah, I mean, also, this is just his character is just expanding. Just and
the expanded universe of Din Djarin.
Yeah, yes. Justin, what do you think, man?
If you do, it'd be like last episode or next to last episode, and it's going to be one word. It's not going to be full sentences.
It'll be Boba.
Like like mama.
Say, Daddy.
I'm gonna
Boba.
laugh if he calls
Boba.
it if the child calls Din mama.
I'll
That
just be
would
like,
be
eh.
cool.
And he's just gonna be like,
Yeah.
Did you
It
notice
works.
he huffed like 3 times in this episode?
So much.
It's classic. I love it. Josh, what do you think's going to happen next episode?
I don't think he's gonna say a word. So this isn't next episode, but I don't think he's gonna say a word. I think he's gonna make the Yoda sound. That.
Oh my god, dude!
That'd be way better.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get some Mon Cala though.
You think there's gonna be Mon Cala next week? Okay.
I hope so.
I mean, we have
you're gonna
corn.
get some-
We've already seen
Like
corn.
as an
Yes, I
appetizer,
think
or
you're gonna get the Mon Cala, the corns. There's another one, and I can't remember the name of the species that's in the aquatic realm, but they have like the spiky head, not the
Aqualich?
corn. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
they have the
yeah.
spikier heads. Yeah, I think because there were 2 of them in the trailer that you could see, kind of like walking towards the camera, or like standing by a barrel or something. So I think you're gonna get those too.
Yeah.
Oh no,
It's good.
Aqualich is the walrus man.
Oh, it's not that guy. I'll figure out who it was.
not the
Can't remember
corn.
who it was.
So Josh, what do you think, man? What's gonna happen next episode?
I think we're gonna see those fairy scenes. We're gonna find out. We're gonna meet Sasha Banks and whoever her character is, and just like this episode, that next episode is going to be a horror movie feature, and this is going to be the Jaws episode.
Shit, why not?
Oh,
Keep going.
Not.
yes.
Big goober fish.
Could
I'm
you
not really
imagine
into
that?
sharks, so I'm not down with that.
So Kyle's saying no sharks next week. Is Rip Tamson making an appearance?
Although,
Live action
if
Rip
it
Tamson.
is
say, Rick
if it
Hansen
is
people
a
could be there.
humanoid half shark hybrid, I might be into that.
I could get into that.
Riff's dead. I'm pretty sure he died.
Well, he wasn't the only one
Son of
in
Riff.
the whole
But it's
world,
the
in the whole
son of
universe.
Riff. It's like the son of Fred.
Yeah, it's gonna be Biff Tamson.
Kyle, what do you think's happening on next week's episode?
I think we are going to run into some more Mandalorians.
Ooh, maskless or masked?
Masked.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Ooh.
so. That's my guess.
From the same same covert or
No, these Mandalorians that her husband has seen, that the Frog Lady's husband has seen.
Mr. Fish or Mr. Frog?
Well, I'm assuming he's a frog, but that's taking a leap. I don't
Is it a
know.
frog man? It's
I
or
don't.
frog lady.
Who
it's
am
frog
I to
man.
judge who they love? They could be. He could be.
It could be.
anything. I
Yeah,
don't
it could
know.
be. Yeah, it could be a normal human or. But you,
I don't want to know how the normal human's going to impregnate that backpack full of eggs, but it could be anything, Chris. I really don't know.
Once again, it's 2020. So
That's sort of what I was thinking, Lauren Romo, but I don't want to say anything too crazy and look like an idiot.
yeah, I think we flustered Maggie. She did not turn
No.
the camera off though. Bo-Katan. Someone did a really cool fan art of Boba Fett. I swear to God, this is the last time we're going to say this.
You
But
mentioned
somebody
Boba Fett.
did a really good fan art of Boba Fett getting the armor back with the
No.
black cloak and has the jag eyes on the helmet, which is really cool. It's a really cool mock-up. I'll try to post it on SW Friend Show. I love fan art. I'm here for all the fan art and all the interpretations of what's to come. So Maggie's gone. Maggie is gone. And have a good night, Maggie. Happy Friday. Oh my God.
Hide your eggs, people.
Hide your eggs. All right. So
Get a lock on the lid. It's not that hard. I mean, I can keep my dog out of the garbage can, guys. It's not complicated. They make
All right.
things just for that.
I think we've hit all the reactions on this show. I think
So many
we-
reactions.
I think we've hit everything. So with that being said, we are going to end this episode of The Mandalorian Razor Crest Reacts for Chapter 10, The Past Year. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Oh, great chats tonight. You guys brought it
Seriously.
strong. That was super cool. That's what this is all about. We do want to remind you to head over to This Is the Way, the fundraiser. You can find that online. You can find it on a lot of people's social media, especially on Maggie's. It is pinned to the top of her Twitter, which I'm sure you can all find fairly easily. So her handle's right there on her screen. So donate to the fundraiser. If you donate $40 like someone did since our last episode, you'll get one of these shirts.
You know you want one.
That's right. And $100 will get you a This Is the Way hoodie. So go ahead and do that. We're here every Friday night for the Mandalorian Reacts, the Razor Crest Reacts. So Chapter 11 is coming up next. Riff Tamsin is going to be alive, battling Bo-Katan on the ferry. I'm ready for it. I am so ready for it. So eat all your eggs, whether you like them scrambled, over easy, totally however you
You
want.
gotta swallow them whole
with the shell.
Gotta swallow those
Swallow
eggs.
them, gobble them.
So
was
thanks
that?
everybody for hanging out. Mike Harris, did you just get here, Mike? Did you just get here? You just missed the reacts? Bro. I love all these hearts. Look at all these hearts from all of our good Star Wars friends. Ross, we're going to have Ross Sambridge on a upcoming episode, Star Wars Friends. We're going to dive into his history with Star Wars as an actor, and this is going to be very cool. May the Force be with all of you. If you want to find us on social, find us at SW Friends Show on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, show at StarWarsFriends.com. You can find me at No One Is Chris on Twitter. Where can they find the rest of you at?
This is Josh, and you took if we just go like this, you can see Battle of Tanab on Instagram and Twitter.
There it is.
This is Justin. You can find me on Twitter at I am the Bendu.
This is Kyle. I am KB_legend on Twitter and Instagram, whatever else.
And this is Maggie, and you can find me at Maggie of the Town.
Very cool. All right, everybody, listen to our episode with Gary Whitta. Would love for you to get give some feedback on that. Leave us a review. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We'll be back next week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for Chapter 11 of The Mandalorian.
Be there, bring a friend.
This is the way. This is the way.
This is
right?
the way.
This is the way.
Later, y'all.
And also with you. What?
Happy Friday.
Bye.
Bye.
Always this way with you.